Airport right there will be warm. Today's graduation ceremony will be live streamed on Army ROTC Facebook and Army ROTC YouTube. We posted ceremony will be viewed at twitter.com/Army ROTC. In the event of emergency, please remain seated and calm and await further guidance from myself.
I just didn't know if this had a name attached to it. I don't want to be that person.
And if you're still looking for seats, there's a few over here on the right side of the gymnasium. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Fort Knox. I am Major Mike Briggs, the narrator for today's graduation ceremony. At this time, we'd like to welcome all general officers, senior officers, command sergeants, major, and distinguished guests. On behalf of Major General Antonio Manero, Command Sergeant Major Roy Young, thank you for your attendance today. Today's ceremony honors the successful completion of advanced camp. The graduating unit for today is the 7th Regiment of Advanced Camp, the General William E. DeQueen Regiment. Greater troops for today's ceremony is Cadet Promise Newsom from the University of Arizona. The color guard is comprised of cadets selected from the regiment. They are led by Cadet Hunter Spear from Texas A&M University. Also participating in today's ceremony is the 101st Airborne Division Band from Fort Campbell, Kentucky, commanded by Chief Warrant Officer 3 James Langford, led by Truck Major Staff Sergeant David Love. This ceremony marks the culmination of 35 days of rigorous and intensive training for these young men and women. For them, advanced camp served as a test of their leadership abilities and potential to be an officer. They have emerged from this challenge confident in their ability to assume the tremendous responsibilities of being an Army officer. The cadets of the 7th Regiment are now formed in front of you. Each regiment has had the honor of having bestowed upon it a namesake. This namesake is in honor of a general officer whose values and accomplishments represent the best the Army has to offer. 7th Regiment has had the distinct privilege of honoring General William E. DeQueen. General William E. DeQueen graduated from South Dakota State University in 1941 and commissioned to the Army ROTC as a second lieutenant in the infantry. In April of 1942, he joined the 357th Infantry Regiment of the 90th Division at Camp Barclay, Texas, where he served in a number of positions through deployment to the European Theater of Operations in March 1994, earning the Distinguished Service Cross and 3 Silver Stars. He served 4 years in the Office of the Chief of Staff of the Army, focused on the Army's force structure, doctrine, and training policies. In 1962, General DeQueen served as the Director of Special Warfare in the Office of the Deputy Chief of Staff for Military Operations. In March of 1969, he was promoted to Lieutenant General and assumed the duties of Assistant Vice Chief of Staff of the Army. General DeQueen became the Deputy Commanding General of the United States Continental Army Command in March of 1973, and later became the first commander of the Army's Training and Doctrine Command. General DeQueen retired from active duty in July of 1997. In honor of their completion of advanced camp, the cadets from General William E. Regiment are receiving a 3-gun salute from the former cadet candidate. In a moment, the commander of troops will bring the units to attention. The reviewing officer for today's ceremony is Lieutenant General John Evans, Commanding General, U.S. Army North. He He is accompanied by the host and the regimental training officer, Lieutenant Colonel Dan Rush. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the entrance to the official party and remain standing for the rendering of honors to the duty officer and the invocation offered by Chaplain Candidate Second Lieutenant James Valdez. We ask that military personnel in uniform render a hand salute to the completion of honors.
Please join me as I pray in my way and you in your own. Almighty God, your unparalleled goodness is on display today as we celebrate the graduation of 7th Regiment Advanced Camp. I thank you for the families who have inspired and strengthened them as they start long and distinguished careers. I ask that your favor be upon them, their family, friends, leaders, and mentors who have stood by your servants in faithful support of their endeavors. Continue to lead these young leaders to show what leading with emotional intelligence, empathy, and compassion looks like in a military context. Bless all who are gathered here today and those present in spirit. Please continue to strengthen our communities and keep our army strong. In your most holy name I pray. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Post the colors. Present the command.
Obedience and disciplined performance despite difficulty or danger. Duty requires self-responsibility and selfless devotion. Honor. Encompassing integrity and dedication. Honor is the thread which holds together the fabric of our Army. Country. For which men and women have given their lives. Our country shines as a light of freedom and dignity to the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The Cadet Creed was adopted to instill in Army cadets the values that are critical to successful performance. Cadet Robert Ford from the University of North Carolina at Charlotte will now recite the Cadet Creed.
I am an Army officer committed to defending the values which make this nation great. Honor is my touchstone. I understand mission first and people always. I am the past, the spirit of those warriors who have made the final sacrifice. I am the present, the scholar and apprentice soldier, enhancing my skills in the science of warfare and the art of leadership. But above all, I am the future warrior leader of the United States Army. May God give me the compassion and judgment to lead and the gallantry in battle to win. I will do my duty. Leadership excellence, sir.
The greater community of Fort Knox, our national and local service organizations are here to show their support to our future Army leaders. These cadets have demonstrated superior character and service throughout training and will be recognized for their efforts. Also, we kindly ask the family and friends to remain seated during the award presentation. The awardees will be brought forward immediately following the ceremony for pictures. The Association of the United States Army Leadership Excellence Award is presented by Major Retired Mike Pesco to the top cadet in each regiment, as determined by a regimental cadre board. This award is presented to Cadet Matthew Matula from Norwich University. The First Command Financial Services Award is presented by Ms. Sonia McNeil, the cadet who best demonstrates the leadership traits necessary to encourage teamwork, improve unit cohesion, and reinforce mission accomplishment. This award is presented to Cadet Christian Wood from Eastern Illinois. The USAA Warrior Spirit Award is presented by Command Sergeant Major Retired Dennis King to the cadet that best demonstrated the personal actions necessary to represent the Army profession, ethics, and officership while best exemplifying the warrior spirit. This award is presented to Cadet Owen Corker from Illinois State University. The Armed Forces Bank Award is presented by Ms. Nicole Shoemaker to the cadet that best demonstrates respect for other cultures and people by effectively utilizing the training scenarios to demonstrate a mastery of cross-cultural competencies as they relate to a complex environment. This award is presented to Cadet Ryan Morehouse from the University of Tennessee at Knoxville. The National Guard Association of the United States Army National Guard Minuteman Award is presented by Lieutenant Colonel Kevin Wallace cadet that demonstrates the most improvement in physical and mental preparedness in the advanced ROTC curriculum. This award is presented to Cadet Chaim Zuniga from Brigham Young University. The Reserve Organization of America Award is presented by Colonel Retired Cliff Bernstein to the cadet that embodies the characteristics of a comprehensive soldier by demonstrating resilience, the lifelong pursuit of enhanced performance to cope with adversity and stressful situations, and thrive in life. This award is presented to Cadet William Turner from the University of Washington. The Military Officers Association of America Award is presented by Major Retired Mike Pesco to the cadet that has demonstrated superior dedication to duty and established a positive command presence by accepting accountability for self and assigned unit through employment of team leaders while applying the fundamentals of leadership. This award is presented to Cadet Michael Godlowski from Syracuse University. The Military Order of World Wars Award is presented by Major Retired Mike Pesco to the cadet who best demonstrates the ability to evaluate, analyze, apply, and understand experiences and capabilities to solve tactical problem sets. This award is presented to Cadet Nathan Johnson from Arkansas Tech University. The Radcliffe and Courthouse Convention and Tourism Commission World Leader Spirit Award is presented by Command Sergeant Major Retired Robert Moore to the cadet who best demonstrates appropriate motivational techniques, inspirational leadership, and the spirit of a leader. This award is presented to Cadet Marco Halper from the University of South Carolina. The Magellan Federal Award is presented by performance expert Adam Williams to the top male and female cadet who achieved the highest score in the Army Combat Fitness Test. This award is presented to Cadet Traven Hyman from the University of Oregon and Cadet Mackenzie Clark from the University of California at Berkeley. The United States Army Reserve Truman Citizen Soldier Award is presented by Colonel Marshall Stanley, Commander Army Reserve's Career Group, to the Army Reserve Cadet in each regiment that has distinguished themselves amongst their peers as a top performer and exemplifies outstanding leadership qualities. This award is presented to Cadet John Leslie Drake from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. The Patton Museum Foundation Award is presented by Lieutenant Colonel Retired Terry Owens to the cadet who took charge in a challenging situation, demonstrating confidence, boldness, dash, and daring. This award is presented to Cadet Aiden Pryor from Brigham Young University.
Right. Hey. Forward. Forward. Right. 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 Right.
The Recondo Award is presented to cadets who display superior individual performance. These cadets were first-time goes on the Army Combat Fitness Test with a total score of 540 out of 600 or higher. First first time goes on land navigation, defined as achieving a score of 90% or higher on the written test, and finding 5 out of 6 points on the land navigation practical course. First time goes on tactical combat casualty care tasks, and first time goes on chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear defense events. In addition, these cadets qualified sharpshooter or better in basic rifle marksmanship. Cadets from the 7th Regiment awarded the Condo Badge after the annotated year program with an asterisk by their name. At the completion of the ceremony, today's awardees will return to the field for individual congratulations and photo opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving our awardees a final round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the guest speaker for today's ceremony, Lieutenant General John Evans, Commanding General, U.S. Army North.
Okay, everybody listen up. Cadets, rest. Shake it out a little bit. Don't talk, but shake it out. Color guard, you can unseat your colors and come to parade rest, okay? I'm not going to be that long, but no, if your sergeant's told you to stand like that, you stand like that, but I'm giving you permission, all right, if you need it. There you go. Hey, it is great to be back at Fort Knox, Kentucky. If you haven't seen my bio, I'll clue you in on the fact that I had an opportunity to serve here in this very formation. For 39 months, I was the commander of United States Army Cadet Command, and this is my first opportunity to come back since I left about 2 years ago. So this is a special day for me. For a lot of the cadets that are out there, I was probably your commander when you began your ROTC journey. And so it's nice to see it kind of come full circle with your completion of advanced camp. Before I start my comments, and they will be brief, I'd like to do one thing. I'd like for the folks that are here in the audience to give these young men and women a round of applause for everything they've accomplished. And so that we don't forget where we came from and why we got here, I'd like for all the cadets out here, whether you've got somebody in the stands or somebody watching virtually, give your support system, your moms, your dads, your siblings, grandparents, whoever, give them a round of applause for everything they've done for you. Yeah. You know, I said I'd be brief. I got up this morning. Nobody ever likes to come and do one of these in the gym, and my understanding is it's the first one they've done this year in the gym. So I gave the commander a hard time about that last night. I'm like, come on, man. We'll be on the parade field in the rain, right? I live in South Texas. We haven't had rain in about 6 weeks. So I just about went out and backstroked across the parade field this morning for PT. I was so happy to see it. And I wish I could bucket it up and take it home with me, but that's not going to happen. So we'll do it in the gym today. And again, I'll be brief with my comments because I know you want to get on with seeing your families and get back to that last year for most of you, that last year that's going to be so formative in your journey to become Army lieutenants. Let me just say, I hope this experience has been everything you hoped it would be. It should have been trying. It should have been stressful, both mentally and physically. It should have given you an opportunity to test yourselves, to build new relationships and new friendships, and it should give you a great sense of pride to be standing here this morning because you've earned that. This was an important crucible in your path to becoming an Army officer. I will tell you that there is probably no more important thing that we do in our Army than building lieutenants. Not building generals, not picking battalion commanders, not doing all of the other things that we do, but building the seed corn for our officer corps who will lead at the highest levels eventually is one of the most important things that we do. And I would charge you this morning with a simple charge. Do what you are going to do well each and every time. I'm reminded of the story of a very famous lieutenant, Andrew Rowan, who at the turn of the century, at the beginning of the Spanish and American War, was actually called by President McKinley and asked to deliver a message. As we were working on how we were going to fight the Spanish enemy during that period, it was very important the things that were going on in the Leeward Islands that are to the south of our country, where much of the trade and commerce came in, and much of the military power was able to bring in sea power and harbor ships there and bring troops ashore. And at that particular time in our history, Cuba had not been through its communist revolution, and they were an ally. Yet the Spanish had taken over the island of Cuba, and a resistance was going on, led by a general named Calixto Garcia. So President McKinley had a message for Garcia. And his question was, who will take the message to Garcia? And he picked a lieutenant to do it. He didn't pick a general, because generals, frankly, can be corruptible. They have political agendas in some senses. He didn't pick a colonel or a captain or even a stalwart sergeant. He picked a lieutenant, because he knew, given purpose and a task, a lieutenant would do his duty and make sure that he delivered the message to Garcia. And history tells us that he did just that. He didn't go to the president and say, Mr. President, where do I find Garcia? Or, Mr. President, can you tell me what Garcia looks like? Mr. President, what kind of horse does Garcia ride? He simply took the message and commenced on his journey to the south, left Florida, 3 weeks on a boat. Unbelievably, took 3 weeks to get to Cuba from Florida. But finally got there, into the mountains of Cuba, and for another 3 to 4 weeks, looked until he found General Garcia, and he delivered the message to Garcia. Now, history also tells us that this story has been embellished over time, and that some of the facts may not be exactly historically accurate. But here's what I'll tell you, it doesn't matter. Because what you're doing as lieutenants each and every day is you are carrying the message to Garcia in the things that you do. We are equipping you with the training that is required to succeed. And your officer career will begin with additional training at your officer basic course, where we will teach you even more about the branch that you'll end up in. And we will equip you along the way with teammates that are experienced and capable, that will assist you in each and every task that we ask you to carry out as an officer in the United States Army. But the question you should always ask yourself is, am I carrying the message to Garcia? Am I taking my task, obeying my duty, honoring my oath to do the things that the higher command has asked me to do? Without complaint, without equivocation, as long as it's legal, moral, and ethical, it is your job to execute your duties. And you heard the Cadet Creed a few moments ago, and next year, for most of you, you will have an opportunity to forge your commitment to our country by taking a much more solemn oath, a legally binding oath to our Constitution, not to a political party or whoever sits in the White House or to the higher command or the generals that will lead your formations, but to the United States Constitution and the ideals that are embodied in it through the American people. This incredible tapestry of diversity that is our country. That is your job. That is how you carry the message to Garcia. So as you leave here today and you join your parents again, and you have an opportunity to celebrate what you've accomplished, and you're back with friends and you head back to school in the fall, keep in your mind, ask the question of yourself, who will carry the message to Garcia? Because it's you, and don't ever forget that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's great to be here with you today. I appreciate the opportunity to come back to Fort Knox, Kentucky, because this is Fort Knox, Kentucky, and strength starts here. Group, attention, parade, rest. Thank you, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Army song. The words can be found in your program. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the 7th Regiment Cadet Drummer Training 2023 graduation ceremony. As a reminder, this ceremony can be viewed at the youtube.com/ArmyROTC and on Army ROTC's Facebook. Photos will be available on flickr.com/ArmyROTC. We are enjoying the reception set to the left side, which is amazing. Thank you for attending. Leadership, excellence.